Welcome to KOT Aero, knowledge on tap for the aerospace industry. Subscribe for free at kotaero.com. All right, let's dive into it.
All right, so we're diving into Honeywell's Q3 2024 performance today.
Yeah, their Form 10Q.
You shared that with us.
Uh-huh.
It's a pretty dense document.
It is.
But we're going to break it down, see what we can find that might be interesting to you.
Yeah, it's a really interesting look at how Honeywell is adapting to the current economic climate.
So first off, they've been kind of on a buying spree, haven't they?
Yeah, they've been very active.
Well, these acquisitions.
And they're not just random acquisitions either.
Yeah.
Look at Access Solutions, for example.
Mm-hmm.
That was a $4.9 billion acquisition.
Yeah.
Clearly, they see a big opportunity in building technologies, and they're really serious about expanding their presence in that market.
Yeah, and speaking of big investments, they acquired CSS for $1.9 billion.
Right.
What's the thinking there?
Well, CS specializes in these really high-reliability radio frequency technologies.
Okay.
And so this acquisition is all about strengthening their defense and space capabilities, which are seeing increased demand, of course, given, the global uncertainties we're facing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So bulking up in some areas and then also spinning off their advanced materials business.
Right.
It's kind of interesting.
It's like streamlining and expanding at the same time.
Right.
Exactly. So this spinoff is really about, setting their advanced materials division free to kind of reach its full potential and potentially, unlock more value for investors in the long run.
Okay, so a lot of moving pieces here with these acquisitions and divestitures.
Yeah.
But let's not forget kind of the bigger picture.
Sure.
The filing talks about all these global headwinds,
Right.
conflicts, tariffs, you name it.
Yeah.
It seems like pretty rough waters for any company to navigate.
Oh, absolutely. And, Honeywell acknowledges those challenges.
Right.
But what I find really impressive is that they're not just battening down the hatches and waiting for the storm to pass.
Right.
They're really actively trying to mitigate these risks.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about what they're actually doing.
Okay.
Give us the details.
So they're tackling it from multiple angles.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, they're taking pricing actions to counter those rising costs.
Makes sense.
That we're all seeing.
Right.
They're also using hedging strategies to try to minimize the impact of currency fluctuations.
Right.
And, crucially, they're working really closely with their suppliers to keep those supply chains humming.
Okay. Smart moves.
Yeah.
But this is where it gets interesting for me.
Okay.
They mentioned this thing called supply chain financing.
Uh-huh.
I gotta admit, I was a little fuzzy on that one.
Supply chain financing?
Yeah.
Well, think of it like this. Honeywell gets to hold on to their cash a little bit longer,
Okay.
and their suppliers get paid quicker.
Right.
So it's kind of a win-win that helps everyone manage their cash flow a little bit better.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense now. So being strategic about finances, which is smart, considering, they're also dealing with these legacy asbestos liabilities.
Yeah.
It's amazing how decisions from decades ago can still have such a big impact today.
It really is a cautionary tale.
Yeah.
We're talking about the Narco and Bendix situations, both stemming from businesses Honeywell sold off, years ago.
Right.
And it just goes to show you how crucial due diligence and risk assessment are.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah.
But it's not all doom and gloom.
Right.
They're still focused on growing their existing businesses, right?
Absolutely. What they call organic growth
Organic growth, yeah.
is a big part of their strategy.
So where are they seeing the most promising organic growth opportunities?
Well, a couple of areas really stand out.
Okay.
The commercial aviation aftermarket is booming right now,
Okay.
with air travel back in full swing.
Yeah.
More flights mean more need for maintenance and repairs and overhauls,
Makes sense.
which all play right into Honeywell's strengths.
Yeah. Makes sense. And what about their defense and space business?
Yes.
It seems like with the current global climate,
You're spot on.
that would be doing pretty well.
Yeah, with all the geopolitical uncertainty, countries are investing heavily in defense. And Honeywell is definitely reaping the benefits there.
It's fascinating how they're tapping into these larger trends.
It is.
And here's something else that caught my eye.
Go.
This significant role of intangible assets
Right.
in their overall value.
Uh-huh.
I don't think a lot of people realize how important things like trademarks and patents and customer relationships are.
You're right. They're often overlooked,
Yeah.
but they are incredibly valuable, especially in today's, knowledge-based economy.
Right.
And a large portion of these assets are actually tied to that Access Solutions acquisition, too.
Oh, interesting.
So that's something to keep in mind.
It seems like they're thinking long-term with that move.
Yeah.
But all of this growth and acquisition activity, it must be impacting their debt levels, right?
Of course, there's no such thing as a free lunch.
Right.
They have been taking on more debt to finance these acquisitions. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on.
So how are the credit rating agencies viewing all this?
Well, right now they have an A rating from S&P, an A from Fitch, and an A2 from Moody's.
So they're still in pretty good standing.
Yeah.
But I imagine those agencies are watching closely to see how Honeywell manages this debt moving forward.
Oh, absolutely. Debt can be a powerful tool for growth.
Right.
But you got to use it carefully.
So thinking about all this from an investor's perspective,
Sure.
what are the key takeaways here?
Well, it's clear Honeywell is in this phase of transformation, right? They're making these strategic acquisitions, like that major move into building technologies with Access Solutions.
Okay.
And they're focusing on high growth areas.
Okay.
Think automation, the future of aviation, the energy transition.
Right.
These are these massive trends that are reshaping entire industries. And Honeywell wants to be at the forefront.
So they're not just riding the wave, they're trying to create the wave.
Yeah, it's pretty ambitious.
Yeah.
But, while those global economic headwinds are a real concern,
Right.
their strong market position, their diverse portfolio of businesses,
Right.
and their proactive approach to risk mitigation all suggest that they're well positioned to weather whatever storms might come.
That diverse portfolio definitely seems like a strength in times like these.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like they're not putting all their eggs in one basket.
Exactly. Diversification is key.
Yeah.
Right. And don't forget their emphasis on organic growth.
Yeah.
They're not just relying on acquisitions to drive their success.
Right.
They're investing in innovation and expanding their existing businesses, which shows, a real commitment to long-term sustainable growth.
Okay, so we've got this company making big moves,
Yeah.
navigating these global challenges, positioning themselves for the future.
Yep.
But here's something I'm curious about.
Okay.
Remember how they're spinning off their advanced materials business?
Yes, that was a significant announcement.
Do you think this could be the start of a bigger trend? Could we see Honeywell becoming more of a collection of specialized independent companies?
It's a very interesting question.
Yeah.
And it's certainly a possibility. This spinoff could be a test case. And if it proves successful,
Right.
we might see Honeywell divesting other business units to allow them to operate with more agility and focus.
That would definitely shake things up.
It would be very interesting to see.
It's fascinating to think about the ripple effect.
Yeah, absolutely. Honeywell's a company worth watching.
Yeah.
Their actions have implications for industries far beyond their own. And this deep dive into their Q3 performance really gives us a glimpse into their strategy, their challenges, and their vision for the future.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We looked at their acquisitions, the spin-off, those asbestos liabilities that keep coming back, their approach to managing risk in this volatile world, and so much more.
It's a lot to unpack.
But what does all of this mean for someone like you listening in?
Well, I think the key takeaway is this.
Okay.
Honeywell is a company in transition. They're actively adapting to this rapidly changing world.
Right.
And they're making these bold moves to position themselves for future success. And whether you're an investor, a customer, or just someone interested in understanding the forces shaping the global economy,
Right?
it's important to pay attention to what companies like Honeywell are doing.
It's all about connecting the dots and seeing the bigger patterns.
Exactly. And remember, this deep dive is just the beginning.
Right.
The real learning comes from taking these insights and exploring further, digging deeper into the areas that spark your interest and forming your own conclusions.
Well, you give us a lot to think about.
I'm glad.
And I especially appreciate how you've connected these financial details to the larger trends shaping the world.
Well, it's all connected.
But it's not just about numbers. It's about understanding the forces driving change and how companies like Honeywell are responding.
Absolutely.
It's like we went on this journey, through Honeywell's financials and uncovered all these little hidden gems and really kind of got a grasp of what makes this company tick.
And what's really fascinating is how their actions really reflect those larger global shifts we've been talking about.
Right.
The rise of automation, the changing landscape of defense, the push for sustainable solutions.
Yeah.
These are forces that are impacting, all of us.
Right.
And Honeywell's right there in the mix.
It makes you realize that business isn't just about numbers on a balance sheet.
No.
It's about understanding the world around us
Yeah.
and finding ways to adapt and thrive.
Absolutely. And that's why, deep dives like this are so valuable.
Yeah.
They give us those tools to, analyze information,
Right.
connect the dots,
Yeah.
and ultimately make, more informed decisions in our own lives.
Whether you're thinking about your investments, your career, or just trying to, make sense of the world.
Yeah.
Understanding how companies like Honeywell operate can give you a real edge.
Exactly. It's all about empowering yourself with knowledge.
Yeah.
And, remember, this deep dive is just the starting point.
Yeah.
We encourage you to keep exploring, to dig deeper into the areas that pique your curiosity, and to never stop asking questions.
So there you have it, our deep dive into Honeywell's Q3 2024 performance.
We covered a lot of ground.
We looked at their acquisition spree, their focus on organic growth, those lingering asbestos liabilities, their innovative use of supply chain financing.
We saw how they're navigating a really complex global landscape,
Right.
capitalizing on emerging trends, and really positioning themselves for continued success.
It's been a fascinating exploration.
It has.
And we hope you've enjoyed joining us on this journey.
Until next time, stay curious, keep learning, and may all your deep dives be insightful and rewarding.